Get Shedeur out of that madhouse. That's the comment of the day. Get Shedeur out of that madhouse. That's it. That's because I actually said that on X before I went live. Somebody get Shedeur out of Cleveland. And if nobody can get him, and he's good, and they need quarterbacks because they're dropping like flies, it proves further collusion in the regular season, just like in the draft.
The NFL world woke up rattled, confused, and buzzing louder than a primetime playoff crowd. The Cleveland Browns, a team that has spent decades trapped in the swirling storm of quarterback chaos, just did something so bold, so seismic, that the entire league had to stop and check twice. Andrew Berry, the general manager who's been praised for building one of the league's most balanced rosters, pulled the ultimate gamble, landing Shadur Sanders. Nobody saw this coming, and now everything has changed.
Here's what they don't want. They don't want Shedeur to win the locker room, because right after week 1, what was happening was all of the conversation about Stefanski losing the locker room. We don't really know if people are jealous or not, and it don't matter. And you shouldn't be surprised. You shouldn't be surprised. This happened.
This isn't just a move. This is a franchise-altering, league-shaking, narrative-destroying earthquake that will ripple through every division. Shadur Sanders wasn't supposed to be here, wasn't supposed to be part of Cleveland's future. The Browns had their plans, their contracts, their so-called stability at quarterback. But Andrew Berry tore the script apart, tossed it in the shredder, and went all in on the most electrifying young quarterback prospect the NFL has seen in years.
All right, the good word on the street is Cleveland. I'll put it on the screen if I remember. A lot of people around the Cleveland, Cavaliers, the Cleveland Brown reporters are saying that Shadur Sanders ain't getting no burn.
For Cleveland fans, it's the dream they didn't even know they were allowed to dream. For rivals, it's a nightmare taking shape. And for Shedeur, it's the challenge of a lifetime, stepping into one of the NFL's toughest divisions with expectations sky high and pressure heavier than a 4th and goal at the Super Bowl.
See, Browns, y'all did this to yourself, bruh. Like, when y'all start sabotaging Shedeur, because that's exactly what y'all doing, y'all sabotaging him, not giving him a fair shake. And when you don't give people fair opportunity, equal opportunity, employment, this is what happens, bro. And what is happening is that you're being exposed.
The shock comes not just from the deal itself, but from the timing. Cleveland wasn't desperate, at least not on paper. They had a defense ranked among the league's best, weapons at wide receiver, and Nick Chubb returning from injury to power the run game. The Browns weren't supposed to be players in the Shedeur sweepstakes. But when opportunity came knocking, Andrew Berry answered the door like a man who knew his future could be defined by one decision.
The right conversation to have is when we're going to hold these owners accountable for colluding against Shadur Sanders and trying to destroy his career, humiliate him, and exclude him, like they did black people doing Jim Crow. That's the real conversation.
And let's not sugarcoat this. Shadur Sanders is not just another rookie quarterback. He carries a name, a brand, and a level of attention rarely seen in NFL history. The son of Deion Sanders, the legend who redefined swagger in sports, Shedeur brings with him a spotlight that will follow Cleveland to every stadium in America. This isn't just a roster move, it's a cultural shift. The Browns just became must-watch TV.
The Cleveland Browns wouldn't have, if they didn't think that he was going to be a guy that possibly could be a franchise quarterback, why draft him after you took Dylan Gabriel? You should have just rolled with Dylan Gabriel and said, all right, well, we cool what we got. The reason they went and moved up to take him was for the fact that a lot of people still believe that he had first, second round talent.
Think about the AFC North now. Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and Shadur Sanders all sharing the same stage. Stadiums shaking, defenses scheming, every Sunday turning into a gladiator battle. The Browns weren't supposed to keep up in that kind of spotlight. Now they're not just keeping up, they're rewriting the entire script.
That has translated over to the NFL, and I don't think Cleveland was ready for what was going to happen by drafting Shadur Sanders. Now, the crazy thing about it is this guy is getting all kinds of attention without even stepping foot on the field. Everything is surrounded around him.
Of course, the critics are already lining up. They'll say it's too soon, that Shedeur hasn't proven himself against NFL defenses. They'll say Cleveland gave up too much, mortgaged their future for hype, and risked imploding the balance Berry built with his careful roster construction. But Andrew Berry knows something the doubters don't. He knows that in today's NFL, talent at quarterback isn't enough. You need presence, leadership, and that magnetic quality that can turn a team of solid players into contenders.
And Tony Rizzo is digging deep, and Tony Rizzo just wants answers like everybody else. Is Shadur Sanders getting first-team reps? Is he getting second-team reps? Is he getting any reps at all? There's reports out there saying that Shadur Sanders was not even getting practice reps or scout team reps.
Shedeur has that. You saw it in college when he took hits behind a shaky offensive line and still delivered highlight throws. You saw it when he stared down bigger programs with bigger budgets and refused to blink. You saw it in the way his teammates rallied, the way fans gravitated, the way he elevated every huddle he walked into. That's not hype, that's reality. And Berry just made it Cleveland's reality.
Will I get to see Shedeur?
You'll see plenty
Do
of
you think now, Chris, after this start, Shadour's going to start a couple games? What do you think?
Oh, yes.
Hell yeah.
Yes. Shedeur might be in there by the time we land in London.
I 1,000% agree with bro that I think we might see Shedeur by London. It's bad, y'all.
The move also sends a message. This isn't the same old Browns. This isn't the team that bungled draft picks, chased mediocrity, and settled for good enough. This is a front office willing to swing big, willing to take risks, and willing to put their chips on the table for greatness. Imagine the energy in Cleveland right now. Fans who have lived through decades of heartbreak suddenly staring at the possibility of a dynasty. Jerseys flying off shelves, highlight reels flooding social media, and the national media forced to circle Cleveland on the map like it's the epicenter of football's future.
I think Stefanski's hand is going to get forced, y'all. He's going to have to get Shedeur from that emergency QB spot and put him at the number 2 QB. You're going to have to do that sooner than later. I don't know what's the possibility of him getting away with another week of having Shedeur as an emergency quarterback and having Joe Flacco starter. But I think this is going to be the last week of it. If it does happen again.
But here's the real kicker. The Browns aren't just building for a season. They're building for the next decade. If Shadur Sanders becomes who Andrew Berry believes he can be, then this franchise could go from occasional playoff hope to perennial powerhouse. And for a city that has craved stability, respect, and a taste of sustained success, this deal could be the turning point.
Tony Rizzo went on Cleveland ESPN on Friday, and he talked about it. He talked about the reps that Shadur Sanders is getting or lack thereof, and he just wanted answers. There's too many reports out there. There's too many things that people are saying that Shadur Sanders is not getting reps.
Still, no one should underestimate the challenge ahead. The AFC North eats rookie quarterbacks alive. The pass rushes are relentless. The secondaries are crafty. And the rivalries are vicious. Every snap Shedeur takes will be scrutinized, every throw dissected, every mistake magnified. But here's the beauty of it. Pressure creates diamonds. And Shadur Sanders has been molded under pressure his entire career. This is the kid who grew up in the shadow of a legend, who had every critic waiting for him to fail, and who turned that into motivation. He didn't just inherit the Sanders name, he built his own. And now he gets the chance to carve it into NFL history, starting with Cleveland.
I'm skeptical. I think he'll be either on the practice squad or cut, to be honest. That's really my feeling because the actions of the Browns don't feel like, wow, we got lucky, we grabbed somebody who has talent. Tom Brady is his mentor. Tom Brady is with the Raiders. He has influence. They have plenty of picks to pick Shedeur.
And don't forget what this does for Andrew Berry's legacy. If Shedeur succeeds, Berry becomes the visionary who changed everything, the GM who took the Browns from afterthought to juggernaut. If Shedeur fails, the critics will sharpen their knives and call this the biggest blunder in Browns history. The stakes are massive, and that's exactly why this story is captivating the NFL world. The league thrives on shockwaves, on moments that rewrite narratives overnight. This is one of those moments. A bold move, a young star, a franchise desperate for greatness, and a fan base ready to explode with passion. The Browns just lit the fuse. And here's the truth. No matter what happens next, the NFL just got more exciting. Cleveland isn't a background character anymore. They're stepping onto center stage, armed with Shadur Sanders, ready to take their shot. And the rest of the league better buckle up because the Browns didn't just pull the trigger, they just changed the game.